wonder what's hot in the baking world right now?
It's not even that complicated. You get store-bought croissants, cut them open, shove in some store-bought cookie dough, and that's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Gemma Stafford, professional chef, cookbook author, and creator of Bigger Bolder Baking. Welcome to Need to Know, your go-to podcast for everything baking entertainment. From the latest trends,
this is the viral scrambled pancake trend.
What? To the tips and tricks you crave.
We discovered that if you take apple peels, toss them in a little cinnamon and sugar, and bake them for about an hour in the oven, you get a really lovely treat.
Plus exclusive interviews with baking pros.
Hey, it's Liz from the Sugar Geek Show. Thanks for having me, Gemma.
We've even got the Bold Baking Hotline to answer all of your baking queries and questions.
Is a Dutch oven really necessary for baking bread, and what difference does it make?
Yes, I think we probably would agree on that, do we, Oni?
Yeah, good. So join us every Sunday for your new weekly baking ritual. It's everything you need to know.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Since 2009, HRN podcasts have been exploring the wide world of food, beverage, and agriculture. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org.
This episode is brought to you by Wisconsin Cheese. We've been making cheese in Wisconsin since before we were even a state, which may be one reason why we win so many awards for it. It's what happens when a whole state dreams in cheese. Find your next favorite cheese at wisconsincheese.com.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I'm your host, Darren Bresnitz. I'm so excited to be sitting down with producer, director Antonio Diaz and chef Diego Argati. We're talking about the new series on PBS SoCal, Rebel Kitchen, in which Diego is featured at his amazing restaurant, Poltergeist. We talk about the start of the show, when you are tied to your art as an expression of your life, and the music that people can expect to hear at Poltergeist in the next few weeks. It's a really open and fun and exciting interview, and I want to thank them for making the time to sit down with me. And then we dip into the archives when the Pantheons stopped by Danger Bird Records Studios back in 2019, one of our favorite post-punk quartets hailing from Compton. It was a phenomenal performance and a great conversation. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy Snacky Tunes here on HRN.
so wrong. No one's coming through my door tonight or tomorrow, but I can't wait 10 minutes before I kill the lights. You can't help but feel this way. Maybe someday, if we're both awake at night, maybe someday, if we both meet eye to eye, or maybe someday, if you see me with another pair of eyes, maybe someday, if we're both awake at night. Someday, if we're both awake at night, maybe someday, if we both meet eye to eye, maybe someday, if you see me in another life, or maybe someday, if we're both awake at night.
Antonio, Diego, welcome to Snacky Tunes. Congratulations on Rebel Kitchen, now out on PBS SoCal. Thanks for making the time. Appreciate having you on.
Always a pleasure to be chatting with you, Darren.
Right back at you. So it's been out for a few weeks. It's beautiful. It's great. A lot of fans love it. Critics love it. And yet I know it's a little bittersweet because this week, Poltergeist, which Diego was your restaurant, its home announced that it was closing. And I just want to ask how you're doing.
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Poltergeist was always something built around an opportunity, and if this was the first time that Button Mash almost closed,
sure,
it would be difficult, but there was an opportunity to work with someone that I care about very much. They were almost closing even before this, and then it allowed us to do something really special, and something I don't think a lot of people would allow most chefs to just have free, almost too much free range of creativity, and to be able to do that was great. And then we had a goal was to make noise and do something different and do something special, and we did it. And then I felt like it got out of hand. You should not win a fucking James or even get a James Beard nomination or win awards out of an arcade bar. It doesn't make sense, when it comes to sustainability and just what the concepts are. And it's really cool and it's so LA. But at the end of it, it's is this my dream restaurant? Absolutely not. You know, is there a man in a Pikachu outfit fucking blowing out candles for a 6-year-old at 1 p.m. and then like Dodger fans asking for the cheapest shots, and then while you're like, you know, butchering rare red mullets from Scandinavia, it's like it gets exhausting. There's a time and place for that.
I get that, and I appreciate you sharing the feelings and about that. But in many ways, I do think those types of restaurants should be celebrated. I think a lot of the times when the awards show up, you sort of know what you're going to get. You sort of know the rhythms, and they're all a little bit different. But if you're in the field, you could feel the chasm between the different restaurants, and from outside, there's a bit of minutia.
But as a young chef, like you're not taught that. I think that's the biggest experience. Like the thing that I'm taught, you're not taught how to deal with that. You're usually just like, you're taught to be humble by pretty much like putting yourself down and like, you know, talking shit about everyone around you and yourself.
Sure.
And, you know, I'm sure you guys can see that in your own fields too, just like when it comes to like creativity, or you're like taught to absorb that in a way that it's like ego driven, and it's just to find that balance. It's a dangerous and beautiful thing. And that's something like I learned, and I'm still learning every day, you know?
I think what's also beautiful about what Diego is saying and who he is, because he's very much like an artist, and sometimes when we create,
sorry,
what I love about that is that I just hear the sound from a black abyss. I'm seeing a black screen for Diego.
Yeah, Diego's off camera
with
right
this
now.
Weird green like glimmer on the side. He says there's no webcam, but I don't fully trust him. Like, I think it is on, and he's just butchering a pig like in darkness. But I think like what's interesting is not everything needs to last forever, and I think we've gotten so used to restaurants, like you always have to be available and open, and you always have to push out your art every single day. When other pieces of art, you do it and then you put it out there and then you move on, just like Rebel Kitchens, you know, like I did the thing, it's out there, I'm moving on to my next chapter. And I think you know, chefs are kind of beholden to a space, and we only want them to be there. And then when it does close, it's almost like a sense of sadness and or it didn't work out. But to me, I think it's beautiful that was a moment in time that we got to experience as a city. Poltergeist was a moment in time, and it was beautiful. And now we get to see what Diego gets to do next as his next chapter. You know,
dude, we are fully booked right now. It's like crazy to get a reservation. Everyone's calling. You're probably going to hear a phone call in like the next like 3 minutes, and me saying, "Hi, Button Mash, this is Diego," and then someone saying, "Do you have a reservation for tonight?" And I'll be like, "I'm sorry," and then everyone just gets disappointed. Like we were available 3 weeks ago.
Where were you before?
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And at that point, it's cool. I respect it, but also like
where you
the
been?
idea like of what Antonio was saying of like having this expectation of what the connection of like a chef with their food in the city. It's like, it's also what makes if you give the diner that much control, they're going to create the city, and they're going to make the food in the city complacent. They should not have that much control. So because like when you can't take the bone marrow off of Bestia's menu, you can't take the squash blossom pizza off of Moza's menu, you can't take the pizza off. But now you're just putting these very talented chefs in a fucking cage, because it's like that's what pays the bills. That's what this place is an institution for. And like consistency is so important. But like, what if it like I don't want to make a Thai Caesar anymore? That was like, it started as a joke. It was like, it was supposed to be fun.
Right.
And now it's like, you know, it's like, oh no, you can never take it off the menu. Fucking watch me. It's gone.
Yeah.
Well,
listen, before we go any further, because I do want to talk a little bit more about the relationships you have with the guests and that sort of conversations happening. You know, one of the things I love
how I ate a roly-poly in front of a guest because they found one in their salad, and now
I saw that Instagram post.
Yeah,
I read that comment.
And then that same person went to every single accolade we got and copy and pasted. This is the weirdest experience. The chef made us watch him eat a bug. There was full consent in there. Maybe like one person didn't like it, but I asked. It was democracy. Hey, do you guys want
the bug have consent?
The bug probably didn't have consent, but I don't know if they can speak anymore. This is sort of what excited me the most about this series, and I'd love to hear about your intention behind it, Antonio, because you could tell with some chefs and what they're doing, like it is this moment of their artistic expression. This is this phase. It's the blue phase. It's the Thai Caesar phase. It's the splatter paint phase. Was that your intention in setting out this series to be like, I'm going to capture these things that are happening in the moment for the permanent record, because who knows how long it's going to last?
I guess like now as you watch the show, it is like especially now that Poltergeist is closing, it is like a representation of a time and place in Los Angeles. Like, this was a moment. So now looking back, I would say that was unintentional, but I'm glad that is like it's part of the record of Los Angeles now. But the intention was more about this conversation that we're having right now, where there is sort of like this status quo of expectations. Meanwhile, on the fringes of restaurant culture are these other chefs doing things differently and challenging that status quo out of either frustration or purely out of creative freedom that I wanted to capture. And I really related to those chefs like Diego. And where there was a panel that I hosted at Chow Now earlier in the year where I had Diego and I had Evil Cooks part of the panel, and it was called like the Rebel Chefs of Los Angeles.
Sure.
And it was a dark time for the industry. It was a dark time even for Diego. There had been like a death in the industry. So there was just like a lot of heaviness in the industry that if you're not in it, you wouldn't even know these conversations are happening.
Sure.
And after that panel, I knew that there was something bubbling up that is in Los Angeles, that is the underground, the underworld of the culinary industry. And it's been happening forever, right? There's always this underground sort of world of restaurants and chefs and cooks and I mean, just all the street vendors and the taqueros, like they're part of that.
And backyards.
All that shit. So that already exists, but I feel like it was never fully expressed on a sort of like in a cinematic sort of perspective in Los Angeles. And these are the chefs that I relate to. These are the chefs that I'm talking to. And the other intention behind the show was I was also at a place where I've been in food media for like, it's gonna be 12 years, next month. Darren, we're like veterans. We're old now. Like I see all these new cats and like
I'm on like year 21 or 22.
I know, man. And I'm not saying that I'm tired, but I've been around the block to see.
It's okay to say that you're tired, man.
We're all fucking tired, man.
We're all tired. It's really tough. And what's tough about it is that you put your soul into it. What makes it tired is that you still give a fuck, that you still care. There's stories you want to tell. You found 5 chefs who fit into this criteria of Rebel Kitchen, Rebel Chefs, and you want to give them their flowers. You want to make sure that they have their due. And to do that and do it correctly, it's tiring. It's a lot of work.
I think that
these are 5.
And these are 5 incredible chefs. These are 5 chefs that could fit on any sort of documentary series. But, with the way that storytelling is going these days, it's got to be someone like you to have a vision and a relationship with PBS to be like, we're going to make this happen.
One thing I noticed with like journalism and just something that like, I really like saying I do my own PR because I do. It doesn't mean I do a great job at it, but it's like fun to like build these relationships. When I had Estrano, I was like so hard on I'll see someone with the DSLR and I'll just like catch them and I'll be like, yo, what's up? Like, who are you? and just like not allow them to write about anything and just kind of have this like protective form of what it was. And then the moment we opened up Poltergeist, everything changed. And I remember Farley Elliott was going to a pop-up once and sent me a message saying, I'm finally going to try your pasta. And I responded with gross, don't even bother, screen cap that, and then posted it on my stories and then tagged him in there, right? When we opened, I got to be like, yo, hey, man, what's up, dude? Let's talk. Been a bit, and then, what's up, bestie? And then we just hashed it out and talked and like and created, a relationship that was like that. Like Javier Cabral was like, very same shit. I think we went to like a hardcore show once, and he had one of his friends there, and I just like picked him up and accidentally threw him in like the middle of a mosh pit, and I was like, oops. It's like when you don't realize how aggressive you are, but you're like, oh, punk rock, yay. And all these other like situations with people that I that now develop these relationships. So the one thing that I'm seeing is, as a journalist, the one thing I hear from different people is, I found that person, I wrote about that person, I did that thing before they did that, right? And it's like when I hear that over and over again, even like when we were like releasing the story of us closing, it was just like, hey, why didn't you contact me or this or that? And it's just like, to be able to create and tell a story and not have the control of creating the art or creating the business or doing the dish. It's like, it's something just watching from afar. It's so difficult, it's so difficult.
And that's part of
you can't control.
That's part of like the tiredness of it, like we're not tired because we're cynical. No, we're tired because we have no other choice but to be creative. It becomes like it's a double-edged sword. Like it's almost like a curse for us me as a filmmaker, Diego as a chef, Darren, you as a storyteller as well. Like we're still human. Like we're still going to be doing the thing that we love out of passion, whether it makes money or not. We have to put it out. We have to.
You guys are waiting for lightning to strike and be there when it strikes. And that's the tired part. It's almost like the movie Twister. You're chasing tornadoes all the way out instead of creating them.
I think I would. The only thing I would challenge that is like
challenge.
So like Antonio knows how to make lightning, and he's just waiting someone to give him like the right environment to make that lightning, because sometimes he can't make it on his own.
I watched that with. I'm going to maybe get in trouble now. You can edit this, right?
No, it's live to tape, man. But go for it.
Is it live to tape? Ooh, okay.
Maybe not. All right, how about this? Let's take a quick musical break. You can think about it if you want to say what you want to say. We're going to come back. We'll talk a little bit more about Rebel Kitchen.
I was about to talk about PBS right now and like all the difficulties of like what we wanted to release and what we did release. So you tell me. Red light, green light, let's go.
No, I think we're going to take a quick musical break and support the network that gave birth to 5 incredible documentaries on 5 incredible chefs. We have a song from the archives here on Snacky Tunes on HRN. Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. I'm here with Chef Diego and Director Antonio. We're chatting about Rebel Kitchen, out now on PBS SoCal. And there was something that I really liked about, at least in the Poltergeist episode, that I hadn't seen a lot before, which was just the 2 kitchen scenes. They weren't staged interviews. They weren't, traditional types of cuts or setups that I've seen. You just put us in the kitchen. And I think, Diego, you're alluding to that of sometimes not being able to have control over criticism, leaks, or, the public or things like that. But I felt that I got to really see what it was like to work with you in your kitchen. How did you feel seeing yourself? And Antonio, what was the decision to include those scenes in the episode?
Body dysmorphia for sure. But besides that, the decision was like, we were talking about, maybe going to the farmer's market, or you see Chef's Table episodes where they're all the same. And it's just like, it's staged in a way where you don't see the realness of the kitchen. You don't really see the good, the bad, the ugly, what it takes to get to the plate. And I know Antonio was when you start filming, Antonio, you respected us, and you took your space, and you kept on saying, "Hey, let us know if we're getting in your way." And then immediately I was like, "Get in my way." If you're going to be here, I'm either going to say yes or I'm going to say no, and don't stop rolling. Whatever. It was an intense day. It's always an intense day, but I'm not. If I'm going to allow you to come in, I want you to show it. If I'm going to be vulnerable, I'm going to, it was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. And there's so much going on, and I'm still learning every day, just who I want to be and what I want to be. And it's sometimes you hit it and sometimes you don't.
I think part of that is capturing that sort of reality and that humanity behind that specific kitchen. Nothing about it was planned, choreographed, nothing. I just had the camera rolling. And for Diego and his team to embrace the camera and to join me in that experience, that creative experience of vulnerability, and just letting truth be the only thing that is guiding us. That's a huge undertaking for someone that's going to be on camera and for their story to be told. And especially in a kitchen like Poltergeist, which is, it's not a quiet kitchen. It's loud, and it's chaotic. It's extremely chaotic, and the stress is high, and several times, my camera almost burned to pieces, because I was in it, right there with the fire, with these guys. But there's a sense of camaraderie that I had not seen in other kitchens. And I've shot in many, many kitchens, and I know how to navigate kitchens with the camera. But this was the first time I saw a different sense of camaraderie with these guys. That I kind of think of was it the Lost Boys in Peter Pan, those kids that are off in the island and they don't have any parents. Somehow they're functioning within the chaos. That is sort of the Poltergeist kitchen. But there's something so beautiful behind how they support each other, yet it is not for the faint of heart. You have to have a backbone.
Took the words out of my mouth.
I always say we're not a family, we're not friends. Everyone's replaceable, including myself. And I don't want to sound like I don't care. I don't care about everyone there. It's a team, but it's also, we have a goal and it's a business, right? And our goal is to execute what it is. Right now, it's been the hardest it's ever. We are how busy we are, and with just what's unexpected. It's these next 3 weeks have been some of the hardest I've ever experienced in a kitchen, and the emotions and everyday life shit, my on Wednesday, my dog went into, I just haven't cleaned out my dad's room since he passed, and my dog went into all of his medicine. And then I get a phone call that like she may die. And then I had to go back to like, while service is going, everyone already paid for those lamb necks. Everyone paid for those duck legs, and they got the reservation. And I got to deliver. And also I can't be emotional because the team is there. And then, like we have one of our friends, Chewy, just passed away. And it's just like, that was like,
so sorry.
He was literally at my birthday 5 days ago eating watita and some like traditional Ecuadorian food with my mom. And then we get the message, and like, we still have to deliver because right now the expectations of what we are, it's there. So I can't let that affect me, but I'm still human, we all are. And it's just like, to find that balance is one of the hardest things to do. So like, what do? I called my old chef from like 10 years ago. I used to like sleep on his couch, and like, I think he's the first person I ever did crystal meth with. And like, it's like, he's cooking right now. He's supporting me. Johnny from PRD is coming in tonight, and he's just like, we need extra hand. We're calling in the friends. We're calling in the homies. We're like, what are you guys doing later? You want to fucking pick some basil? Let's go. And if not, like, it's difficult, but it also makes things easier because it's like, it's the last hurrah, it's the last show. It's theater, man. It's musical theater with pots and pans. I mean,
there's this thing you say in the episode, and again, thank you for sharing so much about what's going on and the realness of what it means to be on the line every night as life happens around it. But
I just need a therapist. That's the only reason, I need insurance. But anyways,
you're on a podcast. It's sort of the same. Just everyone gets to hear it at the end. You say, and this is, I felt like could have been a thesis for the entire series, I want to make noise. And I feel like less restaurants are so bold about that statement. I think they want to be seen and heard and written about and recognized, but maybe not the intention to make some noise and to challenge the customer. And I think when you do that in this day and age, which is so hard to do, and listen, like, you've done it, it's amazing, and you're also talking about how, like, this is the last hurrah of this iteration. But there's also something really beautiful in trying to do that. How have you made that your approach to life? Why does that drive you to do what you do?
When I walk in the dining room and I'm dropping off a dish and someone says, "Are you the chef?" And I say sometimes, and then they're like, "What inspires you to be so creative?" I just say one word, and my response is depression. It's like this is, for me, it's just having a purpose and having a reason, having a list of like other reasons. Like, I don't want to sound dramatic, but like I need goals to keep on going, and like one of the hardest parts about Poltergeist is like I reached all those goals so quickly that it was like I was almost disappointed by how fast we're able to like reach these goals. Where I'm like, shit, all right, well now we gotta figure out what's next. Like, what else do I want to do? Like what will give me what will wake me up in the morning and just be so excited to just like accomplish these things. And that's like the main thing for me is just like inspiring people around me, inspiring myself. And like I got a phone call from one of my friends today who was like, I want to quit the industry and like it's not working for me. And I'm like, you're cooking for other people and you're not cooking for yourself. I would be bored of that shit too.
Yeah. No, I get it. Antonio, sort of similar question to you. Yeah. What, I feel like you made this series as much to tell what interests you and what you're drawn to as the chefs that were featured.
I think Diego hit it on the nail as far as his one word response to what keeps you going or what is your inspiration. He responded with an emotion. And I think the best art or form of creativity comes from the artist's internal emotions and feelings of how they perceive the world. I think as creatives or as artists, whatever label you want to put them, all it means is that they're more sensitive to the world around them. They're observing and taking in what's happening, and then they have to filter it through their own perspective, their own artistic craft, in order to make sense of it for themselves, not for everyone else. I do what I do with my own work, especially with like you could see it. It's evident with this show because I poured my heart and soul into the way it was filmed. I DP'd it, I directed it, and I edited a couple of the episodes. This show was made by just a small crew, and the reason why it looks the way it looks is because I was obsessive around every little detail of how we were going to shoot it, how we were going to portray these chefs, and not have anything that seemed, as if we were replicating one episode to the next. Every episode represents the personality and the style and the story and the feelings and the emotions of each of the chefs. So artistically, I sat down with each of these chefs and I spent time with them. I went into the kitchen, Diego's kitchen, before I shot anything, and I just kind of was in there and just observing and having lots of conversations with Diego, same with the other chefs. And I took all that information and I tried to create a sort of like this painting based on their story. And I think that was very, very important for the success of the show, just personally, which was how can you visually see the emotions and the feelings that these chefs have? And that was, I think that's why his episode looks the way it looks. You know, you have Comedor Tenchita, who is this wonderful Oaxacan woman running a restaurant in her backyard mid-city. Her episode looks completely different. The vibe, the pace, everything about it is different. And because that's how I'm reacting to my surrounding. I sit down and I see these people, I hear their story, and I'm taking in my own feelings and emotions that I have of what they're saying and what I relate to. Diego and I, our look as far as like how we present ourselves in the world is very different, but internally I see so many similarities to how we see and perceive the world. And I think it was only after that panel that we had where he called me afterwards and he's like, yo, you're just as fucked up as I am, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we're all drawn to this for a certain reason, right?
Yeah, and it's based on emotions and feelings. And I think that's why the show is what it is.
I forgot what the joke was. My dad just died, and you made a joke, right away. You made like a dead parent joke, and it was just, I was like, holy, all right, dude, let's go.
Listen,
we're part of the same club.
It's great to be a part of this club. It really is. It really is, and it's great to see two of the leading members be a part of this. Now, we've talked a lot about incredible stuff. You guys have been so open. I really appreciate it. I want to end on a question that I think a lot of people would want to know, which is, we got a few weeks left of Poltergeist. I imagine it's going to be just off the charts energy. What are you playing on the soundtrack? What is blasting? What is the music taking you out in these last few weeks in the kitchen?
Ooh, all right, finally. I thought you were going to ask what everyone else is asking is what's next. And I'm like, your mom, listen, I'm joking.
No, listen, if I know anything about you, you will tell us what's next when you're ready to tell us what's next. I want to know what's coming out of the stereo as people go in, especially the people who didn't do their research and have no idea. They just saw an important restaurant in LA was closing and they're like, we're coming in.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you what I'm reading off what I played last night in the kitchen. Young Machetes by the Blood Brothers. Hamilton on just stick with me. We have a list. Hamilton on Broadway. Hamilton on Broadway. The Weed Made mix with Suicide Year. That's like a deep cut. That's like pretty sick. Born to Die by Lana Del Rey. This is how hard is it getting? And this is just like, oh shit, we need to change the music. How Far I'll Go by the Moana soundtrack. A Nightcore mix of let me see, what do we got? What else do we got here? Blood Brothers is probably my favorite right now.
All time. Young Machetes, just start to finish.
What else is playing? I play some prayers when I'm like mad at myself. Another Love, Tom Odell sped up remix. I'll put that on repeat. Lonely by Justin Bieber sometimes. It's also not even something that's good. You just want something that's just gonna like change the mood of the kitchen, you know?
Yeah.
Something that's just gonna like make you think sometimes, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. Sometimes I play Hallelujah by like Rufus Wainwright, just on repeat for like just the whole turn, and we're just going.
That's awesome. Well, guys, one of the best conversations I've ever had on the show. I can't thank you enough. Congratulations on the show. Congratulations on the restaurant. I'm excited to see these next few weeks. And if people want to watch the show, or if they want to have even an attempt to get in at the restaurant before it closes, where can they watch? How can they get into the restaurant?
As far as watching the show, it's on PBS, the website, on their app. All 5 episodes are already streaming. They're coming out also weekly on PBS's YouTube. I think we're on episode 4, so the 5th one's going to come out next Thursday. So you can watch the show completely for free. And then what's also cool is they're going to air all 5 episodes on the broadcast channel, PBS SoCal Plus, on September 24th. So all the folks that have the regular old broadcast tube TV, you'll be able to also watch it on there.
Amazing. And for the restaurant, if people want to try and get in,
it's really simple. Just don't, definitely not worth the hype. Do not come. It was, it's all one bit. I don't even cook. I'm just a comedian, and this has all been one bit that's just been going on way too long. But like, better luck next time. Thank you for the support. And, yeah.
I think we're going to Thai Caesar salad is going to cost $100 at the last night.
I was literally about to say that right now. The last night, the Thai Caesar salad is going to be $100. And thank you so much. We cut our own flowers. One last thing. This just goes out to someone who stole my vase. We hand cut all our flowers. It's something that means a lot to me. And like 2 weeks ago, I have it on video. Someone just grabbed our vase with the flowers. So I'm kind of flattered. Whoever you are, there's a special place in hell for you. Thank you.
The amount of people stealing from restaurants and wine shops these days.
Stop stealing our silverware, dude. I'll give you the link.
Just stop.
Or just ask.
Or just ask.
Yeah. Look at me in the eyes and say, hey, can I take this? I'll be like, yeah, sure. Or no.
Have a fork. Congratulations, guys. Thanks for making the time.
A whole vase with daffodils? Like, come on.
That's bold.
I love you, brother.
Love you guys so much. Cannot wait to see the final episode I'm holding out for YouTube. Thank you to Allison from PBS for setting this up. We have a song from the archives, and then we're going to rerun the Pantheons live performance, this incredible post-punk quartet from Compton. We recorded with them at Dangerbird Records back in 2019. Thank you guys so much. Here you go. Another song from the archives on Snacky Tunes on HRN.
Darkness coming up.
This episode is brought to you by Wisconsin Cheese. There's a reason when you think of Wisconsin, you think cheese. Cheese is a huge part of Wisconsin's history and future. In Wisconsin, the state of cheese, the tradition of cheese-making excellence began 180 years ago, before Wisconsin was recognized as a state. Immigrants traveled to settle in this lush green hills of Wisconsin, bringing their cheese-making traditions with them. These storied skills, combined with the freshest milk available, created a cheese-making culture that is uniquely Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 1,200 cheesemakers, many of whom are third and fourth generation, continue to pass on old-world traditions while adopting modern innovations in cheese-making craftsmanship. Find your next favorite cheese at wisconsincheese.com.
Legendary Dangerbird Record Studios in Silver Lake. We are here with the Pantheons, Xavier, Sebastian, Omar, and Gary. Welcome to Snacky Tunes.
What's up?
Hey, what's going
on?
So most people know Compton as a place for hip-hop and that music scene from the 90s, but there's a whole new music scene coming out of it, which you guys are a part of. For those unfamiliar with that music scene, can you tell people about what's going on in the backyards of Compton these days?
Well, who wants to start off? Who wants to go?
I'll kick it off.
Paulie?
Yeah, well, we started playing backyards like about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Well, we've all been playing the backyard scene for years, since we were kids, because that's a cool thing about backyard shows. And the punk scene in Compton and South Central, Downey, Long Beach, all those areas is that, you know, all you need is like a couple buddies. You know, they don't even have to know how to play as long as they just show up, you know. And we've just been playing since we were like 12, 14, you know. So, like, the scene in Compton right now, like, everything's punk, ska, psychobilly, and metal. And what we're doing, it's something different, like throwing in, like, elements of, like, goth and dark wave and stuff. So that's what we're doing.
And it's a cohesive scene, right? It's not just like a band here, a band there. Like, there really is a good community vibe there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We got, like, a lot of up-and-coming bands, you know, that we play with, like NNN, Freedom Curse, Diversity, Nocturnals, you know, like, we all play shows together, like, you know.
And how did you individually find yourselves?
And the Neurotics? No, sorry.
No, shout them out. We're big on shout-outs here. But how did you guys find your way into the scene? What drew you to it? Did you come in as fans first, or did you start a band and that's how you made your way in?
Fans of music, really.
Definitely.
Yeah, whatever was playing on the radio at the time.
Yeah. So. And is it fun to, like, come in as a fan and start your own band and play with the guys that you were fans of?
Oh, hell yeah, man.
I think the best part is, like, creating the music and, like, just because you guys hang out. Like, I think once you become a band, you become family. So you're kind of seeing each other on the
day. It's like a second marriage.
It is. Like, people don't realize stuff that's going on internal till you're inside the band.
Yeah.
That's when you realize everything. But the good thing, you get to kind of, it's like a family member. You have to take everything, you know?
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a good place to have another place to go, right?
Yeah,
like,
definitely. It is. You need that breather. Like,
yeah.
I mean, how's it all been important for you to have this community and this scene that's really your own, and not having to, you know, come to downtown or come over to, like, like what's like to grow something out of your own home?
It's awesome. Well, we had a show yesterday, which is actually...
Was at your house, right?
Yeah, it was exactly right in my house. That's the first, you know, it's cool, you know, because, you know, we don't have to rent out a venue. We don't have to, you know, worry about any of that stuff. It's just, if someone has a backyard and they're like, hey, I want to do a show here, boom, we set up a date and that's it. If it gets rated, it gets rated. But, like, we don't, you know, we're, like, super DIY. Like, we're, like if we want to do something, we do it then and there. We don't rent out clubs or any of that.
I mean, we don't mind playing clubs either.
Yeah, we don't mind it.
Hey, just for the record, we're available for booking. We're available for a green room. So for those who are unfamiliar with the Pantheons, how did you guys get started? Tell us a little bit about the band.
Well, Paul started the band.
When did the band start, Paul?
Yeah.
Well, we started officially as a band, because, you know, like, you know, at first you come up with, like, a thing, and you're just, like, dudes jamming out. You don't even have your own sound.
It's not real. Like, this is a thing.
Band members coming in and out. But officially, I would say January 2017, where I toured with these two guys. We went to this random tour in San Francisco. Like, January 2017, that's when we came out with our first EP as well. last year. And that's when we officially began. I just wanted to do something different, because we've been part of the scene since forever, and
Right, because the scene is is mostly punk, and what you were saying before. But you guys do have this goth element to it, which is funny because that's sort of how the history of punk was. Like punk was one thing, and then as it went on, it started to bring in these different elements and evolve.
And it turns into goth.
It turns into goth.
We're trying to bring that back, because people forget that, goth, squirrels and chipmunks are goth to punk, Goth is punk. That's where it came from.
Yeah, how do people react to that? I mean, it is a unified scene, but when you start to do something different, sometimes people get a little eyebrows raised.
You're gonna have those people that are gonna end up jumping off your ship and stuff, and then joining something else, or not cool with it. But
we were doing the gigs, remember, first, and then it was weird. Like people didn't accept it, like when we were first playing, and that's when I think we started like we should do our own gigs because people weren't.
Yeah,
they weren't responding, right, Paul?
Yeah, they were responding. Because they didn't know whether to pit to it or skank to it or what to do to it.
They didn't know what to do. It's like, nah, I'd rather not.
Yeah, sometimes you got to show people what to do with their hands in a new situation, but then they figure it out that it's all come from the same place, right?
Yeah, but I think because the new wave of punks now are way more accepting of what we're doing.
Yeah,
so they dance, they do whatever the heck they want, and we condone it.
Awesome. Well, let's hear a song. Let's hear it. What are you gonna play for us first?
All right, the next one is called Motel. It's a new one. We're gonna play some new ones today.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, we got Motel by the Pantheons here on Snacky Tunes at Dangerbird and HeritageRadioNetwork.org. Welcome back. That ripped.
How's it going? Whew.
I do like the sound. I do like the vibe. You know, LA has a long tradition of punk. Germs, XCC, X, things like that. And I know that Gary, you're talking about Misfits, which is not exactly LA.
No,
but you know, it's like the LA scene, like everyone from New York, even Sex Pistols made it out here. So what from like the original punk scene, like what are you pulling from, if both musically and then aesthetically, like what's your approach to your music? What did you love from the past?
Well, punk stuff, like we're definitely fans of early punk, you know, 77.
Yeah.
I mean 82, UK 82.2. But definitely, we get a lot from 70s punk bands.
I think we all love Misfits, honestly.
Yeah.
That was kind of a weird thing that we clicked off in the beginning. We're like,
or Sam Hain. They're LA based. When they came here.
Definitely.
But yeah, we get a lot from 70s punk because when that wave of punk came out, or that, you know, the first wave of punk came out, like everybody sounded different, you know. Blondie was punk, Ramones were punk, The Damned were punk, you know, all these first bands like Talking Heads, you know, they were all the new wave of like music at the time, and like they all sounded different, you know. It wasn't until like later on that all those bands started, you know, getting pigeonholed into the spiky hair studs and stuff.
Right.
So we were really like that early stuff because their influences were like, you know, T-Rex and glam and all that stuff. So
yeah, it was really you know, in reading Please Kill Me and like learning about like the punk scene back then, it was about having a place in a community, which is so much of what you guys are having now, and it was less about being you're more rhythm guitar than a fast guitar. It was like, oh, you got keyboards. It was just we all hung out at the same place and played music.
Yeah, definitely.
Now you guys have your own monthly night too, right? Which I guess you were saying came out of finding something to do that was your own. How did you start your own night? Why do you want to start your own night? What's it called?
It's called Goth Night.
Beautiful, love it.
Yeah, you know, simplicity, but nothing too fancy. Well, yeah, we did that because we were tired of like the ska scene, and you know, we love the punk scene and the metal scene and all that, but you know, we wanted to do something our own, you know, something no one was doing, you know.
And so what's a goth night like?
Oh, it's pretty awesome.
It's like the blackest you'll ever see.
we got this
it's just nothing but
like dress code, like you get a discount if you show up in all black. And we haggle kids, like if they have like, you know, they come with like band shirts like with the white print, we're like nope.
All black.
just to fuck with them. Yeah, all black. No, but it's all fun.
No, we fuck with them, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we only get like 2 or 3 bands. Because most of it is like to throw in that 80s goth club vibe, you know?
Yeah.
But for like a lot of kids that can't go to clubs, you know, or all that stuff, like we bring it to the backyard scene.
I mean, the fact that it's all ages is pretty important to give access to people who are younger. Why do you guys like doing all ages show? What do you get of a different vibe at those types of events?
There's more of a rush because, you know, kids don't care. They just, you know, they do whatever they want.
I would say like when I was younger too, it was more taboo. And
it was. I remember.
So, now it's like they kind of have that. I would have to say that the parents now are more lenient, so they're like, all right, it's nothing that bad.
Right.
80s bullshit. Like a lot of them like that shit. So
right.
It's cool, you know. Like,
they're like, can I come?
Yeah.
Can I come hang out in the back?
Like,
they're like, oh, this is my music.
Parents are the roadies too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool. It's cool. They're
surprisingly, there's some bands that have their parents as roadies. And so,
or managers.
Yeah.
They're looking out for them, making sure.
I feel like it's a good idea for some kids who don't got that chance or can go. I mean, if you're going to get fucked up responsibly, you know.
Well, it's interesting you say that because a lot of times punk is such a angry or like need a response to like a bad family life or like things are not good, but it seems like it's swung back where parents now can find a bond over the music that you guys are helping share with these kids.
Yeah, because a lot of the punks from like, you know, the 80s or the 90s or whatever, their parents were like what, baby boomers or something, you know, they came, you know. But now the kids from, you know, this generation, their parents were the punks or, you know, the rockers and stuff, so they're more accepting.
Yeah, they can relate.
They can relate because they went to shows of their own and things like that.
They know there's bad elements. Not if you embrace those elements, then you should be good.
Awesome. Well, let's hear another song.
All right.
What are you guys gonna play for us?
This next one is called Belasco Tendency. It's a new one.
Awesome. Well, another new jam from the Pantheons at Dangerbird Record Studios.
Let's do it, guys.
Here on heritageradionetwork.org.
Hey, yeah.
Let's do this.
Rip that shit up.
Another heater. A real ripper.
Yeah,
it's
man.
a banger, man. Nothing but ragers.
Funnest one to play.
Now, you guys have been playing out for a while. When did you decide that you wanted to start recording? How did that work? At what point do you start saying we got enough songs that we want to, you know?
I think that's when you put it right now. Like when people started noticing and started being like, hey, you guys are good. It's like, fuck, now we got to come out with a demo or something, like music to hear.
Well, because, I mean, how much of this scene is live shows versus recording, or is it a mix? You know, it's like, you know, you're putting out a lot of songs on Bandcamp or, you know, digital platforms or 7 inches versus playing as many shows as possible.
Well, I think playing shows comes first.
I think playing shows.
Because we haven't recorded in about a year. We're going to head back to the studio and do a new album. That should be due, I want to say late January, early February. But mostly live shows. You know, that's the main thing. We play almost every weekend. Yeah. You know, because we love it, you know.
Let's talk about that first EP, Ballet of Gunfire. How did it come about? What was the process?
Oh, man, well, Paul, like, he shot me a bunch of ideas for song names, and that one was cool. I thought it was like, we should be slapping on the EP, you know? It's a good name. Like,
no, it was good. Cool. They were at that time they were working at it together. I think it was just them two because they were kind of having trouble with members. But like when I first heard the bass line, they shot them to me, and I was like, wow, like I love it. Like we started playing it, but they were coming up with a lot of stuff.
So right now we're not. Well, yeah, like Paul said, we're gonna go back and record. But those little things. I don't know if we'll come up with like EPs or little singles here and there throughout the time. We might, you know, we've done it before, but right now I think we're just focused on trying to record the album.
Awesome. Now
and shows.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know merch was such a big part of the punk scene. Is that big for you guys, like doing the DIY shirts and everything like that, or is it?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Because I feel like now it's like that weird crossover with like Supreme and limited drops, and bands now are doing like, we're gonna make 20 of these shirts, and you get them at the shows, and we'll make 20 different shirts.
Yeah, it's like they ride, you know, the waves of like certain aesthetics, and you know they go with it, especially like. Yeah, with Supreme and all that stuff, and SoundCloud rappers, like, they have, like, a specific look, and they cash in on it. Yeah. And everybody cashes in on it. Yeah. But, yeah, for us, aesthetics is, like, super important. Well, for me, personally, when I make, like, the visuals, because, you know, I'm an art major, so, like, all the, you know, visuals just, I love them, you know. You know, color coordination or, you know, art pieces I just look neat. I just look at album covers and, you know, just get ideas, just different stuff, you know.
I mean, I've always loved that about sort of the punk underground scene is that it's all sort of one art voice, and there's just different ways to represent it, whether it's the music or the pins that you guys make or the shirts that you make. How do you find the best way? Like, what's the best ideal of representing your whole vibe?
I guess pins right now. Doing good shirts.
We have some pins. Don't forget, guys. Remember when we went to San Fran? We took stickers and shirts. Oh yeah. And we had our first gig. We were kind of nervous. We went on the road, and this guy told me I literally joined the band like a month in, I think.
a month prior,
and he told me, "You want to go?" And I wasn't with my band. We were kind of delaying. And we went over there, and they embraced us when we played in what city was it?
Ventura.
Ventura. We played there, and it was embracing. Like this is literally like we were in the room, we were playing. We played the first song, and I look up and I see these guys all into it, and the room was packed, dude. Like it was like everybody was dancing.
I mean, that was like a year ago. It was like, in comparison to 1 year ago, the scene is different than now. Yeah. But 1 year ago, like
that was out of Compton though.
Yeah, Compton was like they didn't really care for our stuff.
We had to play out of the city. Yeah, we had to play out of the city because people didn't understand the music that we were trying to do.
And now
definitely.
People have embraced you. What was that? What was the change? Like, when did you realize that the people, when they finally get it together and like embrace you and understand what you were doing?
Well, actually, I like to think that I guess, alright, so like, because there's like this new wave of punk, and before, like a year, 5 years ago, it was like the punk scene was like mostly dominant in like South Central and like downtown LA and stuff like that. But like now it's more leaning towards like North Long Beach, and like it's like a new wave of punks that kind of came on, and they dug it more than the old ones. But then the older heads, like, they're like, oh, well, okay, you know.
Well, the young kids like it, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how fast, like, let's say I were to dip out of the scene for 3 or 4 months and then come back in, how different would it be? How fast is it changing? What's influencing that rapid change?
It changes, very.
I think that
it's very volatile.
I think people got tired of it, because it was. I think ska and punk has been so dominant in the area that people were just fed up with it. Because you go to shows and it's like sometimes it would just be our punker friends there and they're watching them. Like when I used to go to shows, I'm talking about a while ago, but we would just be watching it and like, hey, what's happening this weekend? Oh, it's a ska show. We're like, oh, we'll just stay home.
Yeah,
it was the same old.
So you're like, oh, like you're just a ska band doing the ska sound that you saw the show.
Don't get me wrong, we have friends that play in ska bands and we appreciate it, but it was just so dominant that it's kind of like, okay.
I think that if you would leave for 3 months and come back, you probably wouldn't find anything right away, but there's always something going on.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. So you got the new album coming out, show every week. What do you guys see for the future of the band? What do you guys want to be doing?
Well, we don't see it. We always think everything like short term, like we don't think about that far ahead. We just, what we do and today we live in the now. Yeah, basically, like make the best out of every day. So.
Like this is fucking awesome. I never done this before. I would like
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I'll be down to do this a lot more too.
But like, we always think short term, because like we don't like
after this we're gonna be like, what's next?
Yeah. We don't like that mentality. It's just like, oh, tomorrow, so and so has a pin machine. Let's go make pins. All right, just make a goal for like every week. Mm-hmm. We don't see everything like in a monthly or like yearly,
then
plan
you
that we
task yourself, and then you get all crazy.
Exactly, because then and the anticipation for it is leaves a lot of room for procrastination.
Yeah, I hear that.
And
are there any other comparable scenes? I know you said San Francisco, but are there other scenes that you're across America that have the same sort of vibe that's going on in Compton, or is it just completely unique to what's happening?
I think there is some stuff.
I think it's always there somewhere.
Yeah,
I would say.
Everywhere else, their own little scene, their own little backyard scene.
Yeah, I know I saw a documentary in Mexico City, like I think less than 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And there's a big art scene happening right now too. Like it's not big, but it's still there. You know what I mean?
There's a punk scene in Pakistan.
Yeah, like I think everything is always around the world. It's just that it's not seen in the light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, LA will always get the spotlight because it has a history with punk. Yeah. Like places like I don't know, like
the Whiskey, Roxy.
Yeah, but like other states, like I don't know, whatever other state,
Dogs.
Florida or whatever, like, they don't get, because who do they have?
They had Less Than Jake, punk ska,
Exactly.
Back in the day. Yeah. Shout out to Kong, because Conger, the other guy on Saggy Dudes, he's an old Florida punk guy. There he is.
I saw him already.
He's all coming in.
Tell me about Florida. He's scratching right now.
Scratch that.
He's got has Kong. Florida's got Kong. They got some stories out here. He's got some stories about going to see No Effect and pick up trucks. And now with the internet, because like back in the day, like it was like writing letters, making phone calls, things like that. But with Instagram, things like that, it's got to be easier to like book shows, build a community, right?
Yeah, it's like so fast paced. You can get like, especially if you have a good reputation. I think you gotta be a nice guy, right? Yeah, I think so. Like the best way, because
do good and good things will happen to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. And before we run out, because I want to make sure we get one more song, Omar, I know you own a restaurant.
Yeah.
Out in Compton, Alexander's world famous tortas.
Yep.
For those who've never been, what's the deal? What's the vibe? Because there's music there too, right?
Yeah, like all the guys eat there. Like
it's a rock and roll restaurant.
Everybody supports there. I think the rock scene. The reason we did it too, because like you said, hip hop is so dominant in Compton.
Yeah.
So when we started doing that, everybody's like, "What the heck?" Like they would walk in, and the food's good. We tend to our customers. Our main thing is customer service.
Beautiful.
Besides the food being,
food number one.
Yeah.
Equal customer service and good music.
We're always bumping. We even bump locals. We bump everything that's happening too. So we switch it out, and we're tending to the neighborhood, I would say.
It's cool to have a clubhouse with good food.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
You need vegan options.
Vegan options. You can fry up some, jackfruit? I don't know. Right? Yeah. There you go.
was telling you that.
And then Tuesdays,
I would know nothing about that.
Tuesdays we have music open, so sometimes live music. Every other Tuesday, some bands will come. But some of the guys work, but there's a lot of good bands that come out.
Like after we punch out of work, like some guys just go and chill out at the restaurant and
play
jam out
songs. We give them some food, and everybody's happy. And
dude, that's awesome. I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming by. Where can people find your music? Where can people find out about your shows?
You can find our stuff on Spotify, iTunes, every musical platform, YouTube, if you don't want to pay for that stuff. And you could check us out on Pantheons Official on Instagram. And you could email us through there, too. Awesome. pantheonsmusic@gmail.com.
And what's the last song we're going to hear?
This last song is a more punkier one. It's called Benson and Hedges.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. Thank you to Danger Bird. Thank you to everyone. One last song from Pantheons. Then we'll see you next week on Snacky Tunes on heritageradionetwork.org.
I've seen in ways that you can't imagine. The air smells so much different here. It's not savage cage. Tears the veil. Nothing from where I've been sleeping. My stuff was only soil from where I've been sleeping. Who's to argue? Who's to blame? Feral moments seem to know my name. Sometimes I can say it. I'm looking for a lot of that isn't there. Is that drinking in my night so? Dressed someplace, comes in violent fashion. I sing in ways that you can't imagine. Hair smells so much thicker here. It's not everything to breathe. Not there from where I've been sleeping. My skin is always numb from where I've been sleeping. Who's to argue? Who's to blame? The moments seem to know my name. Try to dodge their eyes and snails. I'm looking for a lot of that isn't there. Who's that drinking? My night soul. And memories of my heart and day. talk about food, we talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
Snacky Tunes is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.